Ultimately, you have to be profitable. End of the day, profit-making business. Otherwise, there is no point of doing business. We cater to customers who are travelers, venture guys, so they need such lightweight, warm clothing. Business in Canada dwindled because Chinese really came in with cheap footwear into that market. We started as a manufacturer, still a manufacturer. We also market our products, but manufacturing has been in our blood.
Hello and welcome to the second season of Conversations on Business of Retail. Today we are honored and privileged to have a tall leader who has built a wonderful brand and a very exceptional brand over few decades, Mr. Harkirat Singh, MD, Aero Club, which is the parent company for Woodland and Woods. Welcome, Mr. Singh. And just to give you a little background, Mr. Singh is quite an educated person. He's gone to both Harvard and Stanford together, which is a rare feat. He did his graduation from Hindu in Delhi, and he became the director of the company in 1989, and since that time he has seen all the challenges and the ups and downs. So we would love to talk to Mr. Singh about all that. So my first question to you, sir, is that we are talking about success. The Conversations on Business of Retail is all about how to succeed not only in business but also in life. So first we'll start with, what is your personal mantra for success? What do you believe that success, what is responsible for success?
See, I think success comes with a lot of experience, and I think life is your experience. So you keep learning new things in life, and that's how you learn from your mistakes. First of all, I think one should be daring enough to make mistakes. And I think that is only possible when you have a dream in mind, when you have a target in mind, and some passion inside that I have to do this. So I think life teaches you a lot, and by your mistakes you get to learn, and don't repeat those mistakes, of course, but try to keep doing the good things which are giving you success repeatedly. And with Woodland, of course, we've gone a long way, and I was very lucky to have a family business with me. I am the third generation into this business, so we've been always in leather, shoes. So I've grown up in shoes. So that's why you say, like it's in your blood. So it was always, I knew what I have to do. But I was very passionate about branding our product and getting in products which are more lifestyle, more youth. So I am very fond of shopping, So I love to shop, especially clothes and shoes. So now, till now, my wife gives me an ultimatum: stop buying more, So to that extent, but she's happy at least. Women like shopping, so she says, at least you give me company wherever I go.
Yeah, so just for the benefit of our viewers, the company was incorporated in Canada, and largely you guys were supplying to USSR before its disintegration, or whatever you may call it. And then I think in 1989 when you took over, it was a tough phase for you, where the company was finding it difficult to sell in erstwhile USSR, and as luck would have it, the Indian economy was opening up. So tell us something about that phase, where it was a challenge at one side, opportunity at one side. How did you seize that? What was your vision for India when you launched in 92 or whatever?
So I think I will relate this to your first question, the success thing, So I think the difficult times really teach you much more than the times when you're very comfortable. So I think with us also, I think any business, who has been over a period of time, there are periods where you're doing very well, then there are periods where difficult times, like I think COVID taught us all that, because it was very recent and everybody practically got the burnt of it in some way or the other. So, but it teaches you a lot. You come out successful and you feel, oh, I've come out successful and I've done something good, and similarly, like the period you're talking about, we have been in business with USSR, Canada for a long time. In fact, Woodland was born in Canada, so it was the brand we were selling there in winter boots for winters, extreme winters, outdoor boots, and that's how our product still is that rugged feel and the outdoor feel, because our basically the product started there, and that whether it is USSR or whether it's Canada, the climate is very harsh, and your product shoe is a necessity there. You can't live there without a good pair of shoes which is warm enough, which is waterproof, which is skid proof, because there's snow, there's so like even today, when I talk about my shoes, they are like the outdoor shoes. They are good for any kind of terrain. So that time was difficult, yes, because we were there for a long time, and once the market got changed, because USSR broke up and it became Russia and the CIS countries. So the business we used to have there was with the government. It was government to government business. So it was a difficult. It was a business which was established, but overnight the governments broke up, and they started to find their own ways. So we lost a lot of money during that time, because there were a lot of dues and all, and even our business in Canada dwindled because the Chinese really came in with cheap footwear into that market. So our made in Canada shoes became very expensive. So we were in a state where we were looking for markets which are big enough to take our capacity, because we had huge capacities. So India was one of the market we were trying to get into, and we were similarly going into Germany, Italy, and these markets were also growing. So we were happy to have a lot of good relationships with customers there. But India was a different story, because India was not at all on our radar. So it was like a chalo yaar, India mein apna kuch kaam hota hai, so let's start here also. So we said let's try some. We didn't in fact start with retail. We started with some of the retailers here, the ones which were there and the market. So we were new, so they made a fool of us, like getting the products and not paying us on time and all. We were not really used to, because in exports, you work on LCs and the payments come automatically. So here it was a lot of credit. You give the goods, then wait for the payment. So we were, but then you learn with it. You learn with experience. We started opening our own stores.
Yeah, so I was coming to that question, because the first thing which we got to know today is that everything is a feedback, so you learn, right? Second is tough times teach you, right? They make you stronger, they make you. Now, as you rightly were saying that India was a new unknown market for you, but the brand was such and the products were so good that India caught on to that, right? So tell us something about the success, reasons for success, your personal, when you grew from zero to a certain extent over a few years in India. What were your learnings? And for our retail leaders who are watching, what can you tell them?
See, I keep telling my colleagues, because we are venturing into newer markets where we never, entered, like a market like China or a market like Africa, which were earlier not our target markets. But the example comes from, what we did in India, so because we were not at all expecting any good business here. But every time, you have to explore and you have to see where you can get in customer. First of all, you should have a gut feeling, yes, this market has potential, and India had potential because we knew India is a big market, but of course, people are not aware of the product. So and when you do that, so in fact there are a lot of hurdles. In the beginning we got a lot of hurdles which made us think twice, whether ye karna bhi chahiye ya, let's just wrap up and Europe should be our market. So sometimes you get dissuaded also, but I think if you believe in something, if it is your gut feeling, and then if you stand by it, whether you get success or not, but you keep trying to do that, so that's very important, to be consistent, so that's what happened in India, because when we had this, when we launched, we it was very difficult to, because there was not a retail market which was an organized market where we had to sell. It was all disorganized. छोटे छोटे retailers होते थे, distributors होते थे जो जिनका कुछ पता ही नहीं भाई tomorrow they are going to be there or not. So whom to rely on? So then of course with the problem also comes a solution. Let's try our own stores. Let's try on our own this thing. When the stores came in, we said, why only shoes? Let's bring in apparel, outdoor apparel, backpacks. So with this you learn and you grow with that, and you get, वो कहते हैं ना, नए नए रास्ते खुलते जाते हैं. So you have to have some kind of a push, and of course the biggest push is your success. Wherever small success you get, I think you have to work on that and try to make it bigger, which is very important.
Yes, I think that time the Indian society was also not that adventure savvy, but slowly and gradually as the market started opening up, people started getting more money in their pocket, they started venturing out. Because I remember even those who were not adventure oriented still bought Woodland because they were swanky, they were nice, they were sturdy, it was like.
So it's actually, like, travel, if you see how the market has grown, like I would say, earlier during my school times also, like there were very few kids who used to go to US and Russia and other markets to study. Today every kid aspires to go to US or UK or Australia. So the travel has become very easy, and so our products are more like travel, outdoors. So I think the market is really growing up, and like especially in a category where we exist, where it is on travel and outdoors. So I think people are into fitness, they want to move out. Even on a small weekend they get time, they'll say, let's go to a hill, or let's go to a beach or somewhere. So of course disposable incomes are there, youngsters are earning and they want to spend on their own, and I think this all helps to grow the business, and India is a big country, so even the small towns has so much of potential. People aspire for brands, and and today online it has really opened the doors. So there is no need for us to open a store in a small town. Things are available online, they can buy, and like any brand is available and at very good prices.
Yeah. So the researchers now throw that the youngsters, the millennials, the Gen Z, now they are more focused on experiences. So when they are more focused on experiences, obviously they would want more outdoors, more camping, more. So I think, do you see that market is up for tremendous growth in India?
See, I feel, like today, not only India, when we we look for the world, and I see, the whole world is looking, everybody is becoming more environment friendly, everybody is more caring to the nature, because, even in schools, they are teaching you about environment, about, how to save the planet. So, that love for nature is coming back, and the youngsters are more aware कि भाई we don't have to use plastic, we don't have to spoil the environment, we so they this is a very good thing, when people travel, when they travel outdoors, and especially when they go for a trek and all, they're connected with the nature. And we as a brand, because our logo is green, we have a tree as our logo, we always promote outdoors and environment. And I think the language we are talking to the customers, it really connects with them very good. So I feel not only India, today the world has become very flat, and people are, you go anywhere in the world, you will find Indians, and it's so easy for me to sell in other countries, like we just had a new distributor in Australia, and she happens to be an Indian, and she's, like she's really good at his work, and she knows what she wants to sell and how to sell. So I think that's a very good thing for us as Indians. So we are everywhere in the world, and we love our products, and we know how to sell and how to convince the customers. So we feel we are at the right time, at a right place. So I think there's a lot of work to be done.
In fact, I was about to ask that you were so ahead of your time in terms of the environment, in terms of taking care, be connected to the nature. In fact, your logo, as you rightly said, is green, tree and everything. In fact, just to tell you, the viewers, the office is also green and, very, very nature friendly. Now there's so much talk of ESG and, after COVID, especially when we are talking about, when we had seen the planet, coming out and healing in a much, much better way. So, pandemic would have been a very tough time for you in terms of retail. So, are there learnings from the pandemic when the stores were shut? What was the opportunity you seized upon during that period? I'm told that I've read that you utilized the opportunity of being online and expanding your business online. How did you do that? What were your
So I think pandemic was definitely a big jolt to everybody. Similarly, it came to us because we at that time we were having about 650 stores, and all of the stores were one day shut. And you can imagine, like all the business being shut in a single day and indefinitely. You don't know when it's going to open. So we are backward integrated. We have our own tanneries, we have our own leather factories, we have shoe factories, garment factories. So everything gets affected. So a lot of people who are employed. So what do you do with them? You have to pay their salaries. You have to maintain because they've been with you in good times, bad times. So it was a challenge, yes, of course. But the good thing is that we came over it, and of course there were a lot of learnings, and there was a lot of things which made us realize where we were wrong, to correct.
Yeah.
So because when things are going good, you oversee your things which are not good. But when you are in this stage, then you calculate everything. So we had to close down some stores because those were not profitable stores, and we were just running them because they were there. Because चल रहा है तो यार चलने दो, अभी देखते हैं, अभी आगे देखेंगे ये.
Correct.
So a lot of this pruning, cutting, and some of the factories which were not relevant today, we had to close down. But there were sad things because we had to let out some people also whom of course they have problems. But then there were hard decisions. You had to take them. Because it was basically survival case. If you have to come out, survive it, then you have to, take some hard steps. So, but of course, things revived after the pandemic, and things became normal. Now they are growing again. So, I feel, growth is always good, but with growth, you also have to do your self assessment and kind of, थिंक ऑन द बैड टाइम्स ऑल्सो. भाई ये कभी भी आ सकता है यार. ये थोड़ी ना कि भाई एक बार आया फिर ख़त्म हो गया, अब नहीं आएगा. कभी भी आ सकता है. दिस इज़ नॉट magic. It can, never it's rosy. So you have to think on that terms कि भाई if it happens again, what do you do? ठीक है, इस बार तो हो गया, but then you are more careful. So now, earlier we were opening, lot of stores. Now we do our homework very well. भाई खोलना है तो, it's not easy to close a store, So, and of course, what you said, online business really helped us, because at that time there was no other way to sell. So that was a parallel business, which was earlier about 10%. Today it's almost 35%. So,
yes,
so it's a good thing, because you have a, parallel channel of sales, and it is the future, because, the kind of customers we are dealing with, youngsters, they are more happy buying at home, or in the office, not going to a crowded market or a mall जहाँ parking की भी problem आएगी, ये भी. And so and all our stores are now omni-channel, so very easy to exchange, buy, sell. So, but I think this is one has to accept it. This is going to be the future, So stores will be relevant again, but of course, to the extent कि भाई you have to cater to the customer the way they want, आजकल people are buying groceries online, so why would they not buy anything online? So so it's but I think it was good for us, because
correct.
We
So
learned it in a good way.
Yeah.
And we are much more educated.
As you rightly said, pruning, and it was important because inefficiencies had set up in the whole operations.
Yes.
So it helped you. So that's good. In fact, a learning for all retail leaders who are there, that be prepared for the worst. And be very, very, efficient and very, very lean and whatever.
So sometimes, you get just get carried away, We, of course, we are not funded by some private equity, or we don't even we are not a public company. So we use our own funds. So we are very careful on doing that. But sometimes, if you have you have the funds to open stores, so you go, berserk, do this, do that. But one has to be careful. Ultimately, you have to be profitable. In any business, you have to be profitable. So so we are still from the old school of thought, that everything has to, numbers is not just to show. It has to really, be end of the day, profit making business. Otherwise, there is no point of doing business.
Yeah, so I will come to that, because that would be our last conversation. But meanwhile, I would like to bring in Amisha, my colleague, who would ask you certain questions about the business. But this is very important. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
So, can you shed some light for the year gone by? How did you perform, and the targets you have prepared for that year, and how were you able to achieve them, and what is your revenue target for this financial year and the quarter that is gone by for this financial year? So is it positive, and tell me all about it.
See, last year was basically the time when we came out of the pandemic thing, and we started going on the path to be at par to the year which was pre-COVID. So we were able to do that with the help of the online, as well as opening few new stores. So definitely we could achieve what our target was. We were close to 1200 crores. So this year, of course, we don't, as I told earlier also, that we are not going very fast right now. So with the expansion thing, we are very careful, and we want to open only stores where we are 100% sure that the business will be there, and we are going to some very elite malls, as well as we are opening bigger stores because we have a wider range of products. Earlier we used to have just outdoor products. Now we have a formal brand called Woods, which is women wear, more women wear fashion, and then we have a sports brand called Wood Sport. So all of that with the apparel needs a lot of space. Then we have backpacks and other products. So we are going in bigger format stores. So all of this is just to adapt to the markets the way they are behaving. Similarly, as I told that we are going lot into digital. So our marketing strategy has altogether changed. We are spending more on digital because there are a lot of influencers and bloggers who are working, and today that's the main way things are happening, because sales are happening online a lot. So adapting to those changes and coming out of the COVID time, now we are all set to grow. So we've taken up a target of almost about 15% growth this year, which is quite achievable. So it's always better to have a target which is achievable. So keeping our fingers crossed, if nothing happens, as things go as per normal, which is because like the way last 3 months have gone, the business has been pretty okay. So we feel like we'll be easy. It will be easy to achieve the target.
Okay. So as you said that you would be very cautious this year in terms of stores, store expansion and the product expansion. So can you tell me, but we will be seeing the store expansion, right? You will be opening new stores.
Yeah. We have lot of stores which are in the pipeline, which are getting ready. Only thing was that like since COVID, the buying pattern of the customers has really changed. So now everybody is going online, buying online. So the relevance of the store is not as much as before. You will see even some of these cinema theaters, the footfall has not yet come as per pre-COVID, because people started watching movies at home. They feel that is very comfortable. घर पे बैठ के movies देख रहे हो. Why go to a cinema? But these buying patterns and these patterns change over a period of time. So you have to be very watchful कि भाई कहाँ पे पैसा लगाना. As a businessman, I would put money where I'm more safe. So till the time things are properly established, and and I have no doubt ki retail will not come back. It will 100% come back, but it will take some time because we got a big jolt. So coming back takes a time. Because all these stores we have all over the country are our own stores. We pay the rents, we pay the salaries, we pay. So opening a store is no joke. So there's a lot of investment which goes into it. So one has to be very careful and be cautious, because you can realize we've just come out of a bad phase.
Definitely. Yeah, you also told that. So in terms of product offerings, you said that you have already brand in the women category and men's category. We all know that. So are you planning to introduce kids wear or maybe some other entirely different category, maybe some kind of electronics or anything?
So we keep bringing in new products. As I told you, we have expanded. See, India is a market which teaches you a lot. So इधर क्या होता है कि in October onwards there is a wedding season, and there is this Diwali season where people go out for parties. अच्छा पार्टी पे क्या है कि outdoor shoes पहन के तो जाओगे नहीं. You need formal shoes, and women they need lot of shoes. So men don't buy so many shoes. So then you have to cater to that customer also, because during that time you can't close your shop कि भाई शादियों season and we don't do the formal wear. So we have a brand called Woods which does a lot of women fashion products and men formal products, and so we that's a altogether a separate division. Then during COVID we also saw like people became a lot of people became very fitness freaks. They went into gymming. They were very careful about their health, what to eat, what not to eat. So that fitness thing, at being at home, people are exercising. They needed sport shoes. They needed, like athleisure shoes. So, so we came out with Wood Sport, which is doing very well again. So that's all about athleisure, about keeping fit, and products around that. So that's become also very big. So we keep seeing what the customer is requiring, and we adapt to that. So in business, it's always a rule: don't be rigid. Be flexible, change according to your market. So you have to follow the market. So that's what we keep doing.
So it would be great if you could tell us about the revenue breakup for the last financial year in terms of clothing, wood sports, and
So as such, we have three major categories. One is footwear, and one is apparel, and one is accessories. So footwear is still almost about 50% of our business, because our brand is more known for footwear. Then there's 30% which is apparel, because apparel is a big category again, because we do a lot of these technical jackets, outdoor jackets, waterproof, down filling, so they can go up till minus 40 degrees. So we are really good at that, because because we cater to customers who are travelers, who are adventure guys, so they need such lightweight, warm clothing. So we do that. And then we have, of course, backpacks and other stuff like for travel and all, bags and everything. So that comes into accessories. So that is almost about 20% of our business. So that's mota, that's the kind of breakup we have.
so earlier you talked about the online division. So I just want to know, for this financial year, how much you are expecting that the online sales would be contributing to the overall sales of the brand?
See, online used to be almost pre-COVID, it was about 10%. Now it is almost about 35%, and it grew because retail was a bit slow at that time. So now retail is coming back. So I feel like a 70-30 ratio will be there. 30% will be online and 70% will be our offline sales, because we sell through our distributors and multi-brand stores, which are too many. There are almost 10,000 stores which are selling our product. Not Woodland stores, but multi-brand stores. So the sale points are a lot more. So still I feel India is it has markets which are very, very remote. There are states in northeast, down south, where sometimes even I don't know the name of the city where we are selling. So but we have a few retailers selling our products there. So I mean to say, like the reach is pretty good for us, offline also. So online, of course, is growing and it's catching up, but the ratio will be around 70-30.
So is there anything else that I might have missed it or left it that our viewers would like to know about your business?
I think practically you've covered everything.
Okay, then I would like Ved sir to come back and join us and continue the conversation.
Coming back to the discussion we were having on success, business growth, we had learned so much today about taking feedback, learning. We, learned about the tough times, which are the most learning phases of your life and business both. And what I also learned today is that you should flow as a business, as a retail business, you should flow with the market demands. It's not that very important. Yes, and resilience. Yes. Resilience, perseverance, and of course pandemic taught us how to be frugal and efficient and lean and not have flab and all that. So it's been a very, very interesting conversation and a learning one for me. And I also learned about the evolution of the brand Woodland, from woodland to woods, because not only outdoors was the focus. When people start, what I learned today from the journey is that when you have your own stores, the couples walk in and then you realize that you don't have anything for the lady of the house, and then you develop brands like Woods, and then of course I'm being told that during the pandemic the athleisure brands were born, Wood Sports was born. And now going forward, I just want to share with you, my viewers, is that Mr. Singh has invested in a brand of Mr. Gagandeep Singh, who was a director in his company, and also his son. The brand is very interestingly named the Skating Monk. So he has invested in that business, which is a streetwear brand. Again, the journey from being an outdoor to the women's wear brand to athleisure to now streetwear. So it's a quite a journey. So tell us something about that. You have invested in him, his business.
See, I am actually very lucky because it sometimes happens that the legacy doesn't continue, and you have your children coming in and they say, we are not interested in this business, and then you say, what am I doing here? If they are not interested, what do I do? But luckily it happened that my son was very keen to take it up, but they all have their own thoughts, and you have to respect that. And I was very impressed by the way he brought up this brand, which is totally his own baby, which is like streetwear. And of course, I think like when he launched about 2 years back, maybe 2.5 years back, it was a very new concept for me. I said, ye khulle bade kapde kaun pehnega, and the way you dress up, you can't come to office like that, But he says that's how I am, I've been skateboarding throughout my college, so I'm like that. So then you say, okay, maybe I'm getting old, so but I think that's the fun of it, because business karo or you don't enjoy, I think there's no point of doing business. I've always enjoyed my business, so I think he's enjoying. So that's the best thing I feel, because if he's enjoying, I'll invest, because unless it comes from within, and you're not, you create something and you say, it's like a painter, he paints his painting, he feels this is the best. So it's something like that. It's his passion which is coming out. I'm letting it out. I said, let out your passion.
Yeah. So it said that if you're passionate about your work, you'll never work for a single day in your life.
Yeah.
So
he enjoys doing that, and I enjoy seeing him doing that.
And what a name,
a skating monk.
The skating monk. So when you are skating, you maneuver various obstacles and you go through life, and then a monk is so stable. So it's like very interesting. So I would love to, and we would love to do another conversation with Gagandeep on that.
He'll love to do that.
Yeah. So now coming to the conclusion of the conversation, every business, every life has a purpose, and lately with the advent of and especially post pandemic, everybody is talking about the ESG in the corporates and businesses, and we are talking about 4 P's: purpose, people, planet, and profits. So while running the business, I'm sure Woodland is a green brand all through and through, but still I just want to ask you, what would you put first out of these 4?
See, of course, it's not, I think it's very, very important. People should be first, and we've learned it during pandemic. We've seen people go through very bad times, and I've seen my people also suffering, but you can only till a time you can help them. and but the only thing is it makes you feel that they are so important to you during that time. So I think people is very important, so I think no business can happen without good people around you. So I think that's the most, and the least you can do is look after that and be humble enough to accept that this is very, very important. And of course, we as a brand, we started as a manufacturer. We are still a manufacturer. We also market our products, but manufacturing has been in our blood. And manufacturing gives livelihood to so many people. So your business is creating so much to others' households that you feel more humble, that इतना आप उनके लिए कर रहे हो तो करते रहो. This is the biggest purpose of the business. I think people is, I'll put the number one.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And of course, for us, as I told you, we've always been a green brand. So it's since we manufacture, so we try to follow processes which are least harmful for the environment. So we all our factories are reusing materials, trying to use minimum. And the best thing is, what we aspire to be कि भाई हमारे shoes खराब ही ना हो, साले चेंज ही ना करना पड़े. चेंज करोगे तो थ्रो करोगे तो एनवायरनमेंट खराब करोगे, साले बनाओ ऐसे ही टूटे ही ना. टिल नाउ
such a noble thought,
टिल नाउ पीपल फील कि भाई ये आपकी मिस्टेक है, आपके शूज टूटते नहीं है. सो आई फील इट्स अ कॉम्प्लीमेंट. ठीक है. सो
that's the depth of thinking.
तो रीयूज तो तब करोगे ना कि भाई खराब होंगे, तो हम तो रीयूज करने ही नहीं देते.
No, it's such a profound thought.
So for every process we kind of feel like minimum environment damage, our packaging recycled, everything, less of plastic. We can't totally avoid plastic, but less plastic. So whatever,
and reusable.
Yeah. So whatever best you can do to
which helps the planet.
The profit comes last.
Yeah.
But that's also very important.
Yeah, for business. I mean, businesses are for profit, but if you put your people, your planet, your purpose first, I think profit is an automatic. That's what I've learned during these conversations. Lovely, sir.
Thank you.
Lovely talking to you. It had been a wonderful.
Thank you.